We're almost to the border, buddy. We are only 3 minutes from the border, and then we only have like an hour after that till we get to an amazing campsite with lots of trees. Good places to walk, you guys. All right, as you heard me telling G, we are about 3 minutes from the border. I sure wish our kitties could understand human. They're still a little stressed, but today is going to be much easier on them than yesterday. They just don't know it. But we were able to stop at a gas station and use about half of our Mozambique money. So we probably still have, I don't know, 50 or 60 US dollars worth that we need to exchange at the border. And rumor has it we'll probably get a pretty bad exchange rate, lose a little money on that. But it's better than leaving the country with it, because apparently it is useless once you leave the country. So we'll see how that goes at the border. And as usual, filming at the borders is difficult. I'll do the best I can. Other than that, we'll see you on the other side. We left that border saying this is probably the easiest border we have crossed in all of the 50 whatever borders we have crossed in this van, taken out in Europe where you don't have to stop at some of the borders. But they were pleasant, they were kind. Leaving Mozambique was easy, and entering Eswatini was pleasant and easy. There were a couple of minor inspections of the van, but the paperwork was quick, seamless, and organized. So
easy peasy.
Good job, guys. So it's official. Welcome to Eswatini. All right, it has started to rain on us, so we did not get through that border any too soon. And we have about an hour and 45-minute drive to our campsite, which is in the capital city of this country. This is a small country. We'll tell you a little bit more about it as the video goes. But first things first, we need to stop at a grocery store somewhere between here and our campsite. And then first thing in the morning, you're taking the van for some TLC, aren't you, Curt?
Oh, we need some brakes, guys. We got, I think, about a 2-hour drive to get to the brake shop. We're not going to get them fixed today. We'll go to our camp spot and then take it in to get it repaired tomorrow.
We talked about this a little bit in our last video as we were leaving Mozambique. You probably are aware that we're having to baby our brakes. We got the brake pad warning light all the way back in Zimbabwe. We had hopes to get the brake pads changed in Mozambique, but we were unable to get the parts. There were no brake pads there for our van. So we've been babying it and driving very, very carefully, trying really hard to not use our brakes at all until we can get to the Mercedes mechanic we have found here in Eswatini. But we are quickly hitting the area we have been so afraid of for this whole journey, and that is we're in the mountains. Eswatini is known for its mountains, and when you're trying to baby your brakes, mountains are bad. And then to top it all off, there's a pretty good rain drizzle going on, so the roads are wet. We are going to have to use the brakes as we make this last hour and a half drive towards our campsite. We can only hope there's enough brake pad left that, one, the brakes hold up. That's the most important. And then secondly, that we don't get too far into the brake pads and start messing up the rotors and cause this to be a much bigger repair. So Curt is in charge of driving because we discovered quickly that he is much better at babying the brakes than me. But on these steep hills, there is no choice. I mean, downshifting and everything.
It's really wild. We've been, since we crossed the border, we're like just going straight down.
Yeah, ears popping and everything. So, and it's a curvy road. So the brakes are getting used. Y'all hold your breath with us as we make this drive. So far, Curt is doing a pretty good job of managing the brake situation. There's been some steep sections, but luckily they're fairly straight, and they're followed by a steep uphill that helps slow us down. But this country does like their speed bumps. So we're having to use the brakes more for coming up on those than anything else. So far, so good. We still have quite a ways to go, though. But I wanted to pop in here and tell you a few things we know about Eswatini. The first one is it's a very small country. It is not even as big as New Jersey. It is about 80% the size of New Jersey. So that's fairly small. And the other thing is Eswatini used to be called Swaziland. So you may have heard of that country and never heard of the country of Eswatini. So I wanted to know why they changed the name, so I asked Google. And it's a pretty recent change. They did it back in 2018. And this is a kingdom of Eswatini, so there's a king. Well, in 2018, two things were happening. The king was turning 50, so he was having a big celebration. And it was the 50th anniversary of the end of the British colonization of this area. So they wanted to celebrate that as well. And they did that by reverting the name of the country back to its original name. So before the British came and colonized this area, the country was called Eswatini. But they kind of created a new name that was more in an English language, and that was Swaziland. So to celebrate the end of the rule being done for 50 years, they reverted the name back, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So this is now the kingdom of Eswatini. It is a beautiful, lush, green country with rolling hills, lots of farming. I think we're passing sugarcane fields. And so far, so good, guys. We were about 30 minutes into the country away from the border when we came up on a military checkpoint. And they didn't just stop us in the middle of the road. They actually had formal pull-offs and buildings and stop signs. And so we pulled into the turn lane, and they were searching the two cars in front of us. Everybody looked like they kind of expected it. They would just stop and get out and open the doors. So then he came to our vehicle, and he wanted to come in. So I stepped out of the passenger seat and let him climb in through there. And he came to the back, and he wanted to look into some cabinets, and he looked into our pantry drawer. He was definitely doing a fairly thorough search, but we don't know what for. Curt asked him, and he never really answered us. But the military checkpoint seemed like a pretty legit and organized thing, didn't they, Curt?
Yeah, it did. And so far, this country really does look kind of organized. I mean, they have trucks or equipment pulling out into the road for either mining or construction or farming of, as Snow said, we're in the sugarcane fields. They have like flaggers and cones set up, and then also everything's kind of on the shoulders is maintained and weed eated. So far I'm really impressed with the country.
That's good news, guys. Let's hope it stays like this. The farther we drive into Eswatini, the more sugarcane we see. So I had to ask Google what was going on. And come to find out, the sugar industry is a really big deal here in Eswatini. It is about 10% of the country's GDP. It employs and supports about 20,000 people, which is a lot for a small country. And most of that would be out in the rural industry. I think they said they had 3 really large sugar mills. And is it the 3rd largest sugar producer in Africa?
4th largest sugar producer, but the most efficient
and low cost.
And we see it. It is tight.
Yeah, which goes back to what Curt was saying earlier, that this country looks organized, and it's kind of interesting to see that it's been a while. So there you go. Sugar, a lot of it comes from Eswatini.
thought I'd be happy to be on the highway.
I know.
Alright guys, I want to tell you what gets me excited right about now. We're in the Woolies, also known as Woolworths. I got some broccoli, cauliflower, and look, these mushrooms are fresh and white. They're not brown. Sour cream, proper cheddar cheese, asparagus, and chicken schnitzels. Ooh, this seems like simple food. None of this could we get in Mozambique. Sausages!
So as you can tell from the clips that I just showed you of Curt literally dancing with vegetables in the grocery store, our grocery shopping experience here in Eswatini was nice. We did have to visit a couple of different stores trying to find the litter that we prefer for the kitties. We weren't able to find good cat litter, but we could at least find litter. We were not able to find anything that even resembled litter in Tofo Beach, and we were actually worried we may have to use sand. But we made it stretch out. We got here, and now we have 3 bags of litter, so we're good to go. We are checked into our campsite, which is a place called Legends. It's a backpacker lodge, and it's under these big, beautiful trees with mountains all around us. A very cool vibe in the lobby, and monkeys just all around the place. So it started off good. It is rainy, which makes the dirt trail road thing back here to the campground a little slippery. We actually had to put it into 4-wheel drive. But we are in our camp spot. The good news is our Starlink is somehow managing to climb through these trees and find the satellite. But borders always wear us out. So we're going to take a little cat nap. And then in the morning, Curt is going to take the van to get new brakes, which hopefully that goes well. The appointment is scheduled for first thing in the morning. And this place is so epic that they're going to let us stay in one of their hostel rooms, me and the cats. We'll move in there and we'll just hang out there while Curt goes to the shop and deals with the brakes. But first things first, we got the door open for the cats and a little cat nap for Snow and Curt.
Good morning, everyone. Well, another exciting day here in Eswatini. The brake light is still on. You can see it right there. And here is the Legends backpacking. I think it's like a hostel and camping situation. They were super cool. They allowed us to stay in one of the rooms, so Snow and the two cats will be in the room while I go take the van off. I've got about a 30-minute drive, and lo and behold, it turns out it's rainy season in this part of the world. And so, yeah, we went from the heat to the rain, not complaining, just telling you what it is. And so I've got about a 30-minute drive in the rain on these hills, slippery roads. And yeah, we're headed to get our brakes fixed. Cross your fingers, guys. Here comes Snow reporting in.
Give me a blueberry muffin.
I will hand you a blueberry muffin.
Thank you. Good morning, guys. Don't mind the wet hair. It is raining a ton. And Curt may have already told you, but while he takes the van to the mechanic shop, me and the kitties have moved into a little hostel room here, a private room, but no bathroom. Very basic, very simple. Of course, we moved in the litter box. That's a must with kitties. We brought a blanket to protect their sheets and stuff. And they've got food, wet food, dry food, water. Only 2 toys, but they'll survive. Hopefully it's just half a day. They're exploring. I brought my computer. Hopefully I can do some editing. And this is our home for a little while. I think it's better than the stress of the garage, especially since it's a certified Mercedes garage. Every time we've been to those, they've been pretty strict about people, non-workers, being back in the garage area. And we didn't know if me and the kitties would be able to stay in the van. So this hostel here, Legends Shared is the name of it. The owner was super cool when I put in this request yesterday. It's a strange request to ask for a room when you're camping for just the day. And they actually are letting us use this room today for free, which is amazing. So back to Curt, who is driving and maneuvering these wet, nasty roads to get to the mechanic shop. And guys, let's hope it's just a simple brake pad.
All right, guys, I got to Stucky Mercedes-Benz, which is where they directed me to go. However, it turns out there's 2 in the area, and this is the commercial branch for big trucks. So they gave me the address. It's about 20 minutes away, which is going to put me about 20 minutes late. I hate that. Actually, I guess I maybe 15 minutes late. But anyway, I'm back on the road in the slippery roads, just using up these brakes. So I'm on the way. One thing I will say, as you guys know, Africa is a walking culture. A lot of people don't have vehicles, and you guys know we've seen people walking all down the streets. And so, on a rainy day, look at this. Now, I am kind of in an industrial zone right here where the shop was. And so all these people are surely headed in to work into these various companies. And I guess rain or shine, they got to get there. And in spite of the rain, even the little street vendors are out here. So you can see she's kind of selling some donuts. And I think they got a little hot chocolate or coffee. And then I saw some sort of breads there as well. arrived, and I'm a bit nervous because I don't think we have clearance to get in there. But let me go in and see. Oh boy. It is done. The brakes are changed, and I learned a lot. First of all, I was trying to figure out why the pads wore out so soon, because we did have them changed when we were in Cape Town, so that hasn't been so long ago. But it turns out one of the calipers, or the pins, was hanging on the right side, and so the outside pad looked brand new, but the inside was worn to nothing. And then the sensor, for some reason, on the left side, maybe when they took it off, wasn't working as well. So the pads weren't so bad, actually, except on the right side where the caliper was stuck. So they took those out, cleaned everything up, lubed it up. They did put new pads on. So in the front now we have brand new brakes. In the back, they're fairly new, so we're good to go. And it's 10:30 now, so it took them the better part of 2.5 hours. They were really cool, very nice, very friendly, and yeah, we're back on the road. I'm headed home, or headed back to pick up Snow and the cats. I guess that's my home.
All right, we just heard from Curt, and it's good news. I'm sure he's filled you in on all the technical part, so I am not going to repeat all that. Just know that it went good and fast. Still raining today, but I wanted to show you around where we're staying, our campground. It is called the Legends Backpacker Lodge. And out back here is where they have a camping area for overlanders. Plenty of room to park back here, but we ran into a problem. It's been raining so much that our wheels started to spin a little bit last night when we were parking. So we decided we would park up in the parking lot instead, which is better for the weather because I think it's supposed to rain the whole time we're here. But it's a really cool place with a nice vibe. And it's got a little kitchen over here for shared use. And really, really awesome staff. And just really a cool place. So if you're in this part of the world and you're needing a place to stay, even if you're not an overlander, this place has the rooms. So it's a good little place to come hang out. We will park right up there next to that Land Cruiser and run an extension cord down through the window here and plug it into a room as soon as Curt gets back. He said the only thing he had left to do was pay. So he should be back in about 30 minutes or so. And then me and the kitties will move back into the van. So it's been a long time since I could say everything went according to plan. Let me get back here with the kitties because they are definitely wondering what in the world we are doing. Let's see if we can see them through the window here. There's G. Hey, you probably just see a reflection. Here's my kitties. Curt's on his way back, guys. He'll be back soon. Yes, he will. All right, brakes fixed. Curt back here at the campground. Van plugged in so we don't have to worry about this rainy weather and not getting solar. And we discovered directly across the street, I mean like a 1-minute walk, if that, is a little market area. Now we have discovered the Portuguese bakery to start with, and we're having desserts and coffee. But this place has some other interesting things. So we think that we may stay in this little area for a few more days. And in our next video, we will bring you over here to check it out a little bit more. See you guys in a few days.
Cheers.
If you liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us a lot. And if you want to see more of our videos, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out. We'll see you guys in a few days from somewhere out here in the world. Cheers.